Now watch what they say. You ready? Quote, why do you do jihad? Right here. We begin here. Allah has enjoined jihad for sake upon the Muslims for the great benefits that result from that and because the harm caused by abandoning jihad. So it gives several reasons. Some of the reasons why jihad for the sake of Allah is prescribed in Islam are as follows. The first reason, right here, black and white, unashamedly, not even embarrassed to tell you, black and white. Fine is going, if I explain that, I'll send you to Mike Winger, right? Black and white. The main goal of jihad is to make the people worship Allah alone, to bring them forth from servitude to people, to servitude to the Lord of people. Did you catch it? Black and white. From one of the most prominent, prolific, Salafi, Wahhabi websites, sworn by Sheikh Asim al-Hakim and others. So why jihad? You know how they lie to you? No, jihad is only self-defense. You filthy lying tools of Satan. Like your father, the devil, you're a murderer and liar. We read your sources. We read your sources. Right? That's not the goal of jihad, to defend yourself. It's to attack, kill, murder folks who don't become Muslim unless they repent. Right? And look the verses they quote. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:193. And fight them until there is no more fitna, disbelief and worshipping of others along with Allah. And all and every kind of worship is for Allah. But if they cease, let there be no transgression except against the al-zalimun. Al-zalimun. What is going on here? You get it? All right, let's go to the next verse. What's going on, man? All right. Surah Al-Anfal 8:39. And fight them until there is no more fitna, disbelief and polytheism, worshipping others besides Allah. That's a fitna. If you have another religion besides Islam. And the religion will all be for Allah alone and the whole world. See their translation? See their translation? Until Islam dominates the whole world. But if they cease worshipping others besides Allah, then certainly Allah is all-seer of what they do. Now, Ibn Jarir commented on the Quran. Look what he says. So fight them until there is no more shirk. You know what shirk is? The term shirk, like sharika, right? Mushrik, mushrikeen, mushrikun, means association. To associate, to take associates, partners. The one sin Allah does not forgive is to associate a creature with Allah, associate a partner with Allah, and ironically, Islam is nothing but association with Allah. Muhammad is Allah's partner, his associate, his next of kin, so to speak. But that's okay if Allah does it, as long as you don't do it. So why do you fight people? Until there's no more shirk. Until Christians stop associating Jesus with God, the Holy Spirit with God. Until anyone and everyone stops venerating creatures, right? Ascribing divinity to them. That's shirk. So far with me? You guys enjoying this? Expose of Islam? And none is worship except Allah alone, with no partner or associate, trials and calamities, which are disbelief and polytheism. So what is a disaster? Not believing in Islam and polytheism. Muslims tell you that's worse than adultery, that's worse than murder, that's worse than robbery. to not believe in Islam and to associate others with Allah are lifted from the slaves of Allah on earth. These are removed from us. And religion is all for Allah alone, and so that obedience and worship will be devoted to Him alone and none else. This is the Islamic agenda. Ladies, I'm going to show you what Muslims will do to you once they take you captive. Get ready. Ibn Kathir said, Allah commands us to fight the kuffar, meaning unbelievers, disbelievers, so there will be no fitna, shirk. Notice what fitna is, what a trial is, what a disaster is, to have associates with Allah. Okay? Focus. And the religion will all be for Allah alone until you make Islam the only religion all over the world. So how can Muslims ever live at peace with anyone? If they truly believe this and they truly submit to this, they can never be at peace or love anyone until the whole world becomes Muslim. Right? Still not convinced? Watch here. And the religion will all be for Allah alone, i.e., the religion of Allah will prevail over all of the religions. Quoting Muhammad, and he said, this is Muhammad, huh? I have been sent just before the hour with the sword. Muhammad, no, he's a peaceful prophet. No, I'm not. I was sent before the last day, before the day of judgment, with the sword, with warfare, with murder, violence, terror, so that Allah will be worshipped alone with no partner or associate. Now, is this a weak narration? No. Class this Sahih by Al-Albani and Sahih Al-Jami' number 2831. Why are you guys asleep? Why do you actually think that Islam can coexist? Yes, Muslims who don't know Islam, Muslims who don't know Muhammad, Muslims who don't know the Hadith can coexist with you. Muslims who know Islam, Muhammad, the Hadith, the Sunnah, know what the Muslim scholars have taught, know their commentators, can't. Ali Dawa can't live at peace with you. Muhammad Ajab, right? Sheikh Uthman, who took his Muslim brother's wife and slept with her, committing adultery, beat his wife, right? Staged a stabbing, can't live at peace with you. Can't live at peace with you. They can't. They believe this filthy son of Satan is a prophet and they must carry out his teaching. Now, that Jews and Christians are included as the Mushrikun, meaning those who commit the sin of shirk, associate, is clear from the Quran and the Hadith. Because what did Muhammad say? He wanted to get rid of the Arabian Peninsula. For starters, start with the Arabian Peninsula. Get rid of Mecca and Medina, Tayyif, right? Of all Mushrikeen, those associated. And guess what he did? He got rid of the Jews and Christians and no longer allowed any Jew or Christian to live in Mecca, Medina, as proof that he considered Jews and Christians as al-mushrikeen, those who commit shirk. You don't believe me? Here you go. Sahih Bukhari, volume 3, number 531. And I'll talk about Jizyah in a minute. Narrated Ibn Umar. Narrated Ibn Umar or Umar. Umar expelled the Jews and the Christians from Hijaz. He got rid of them from Mecca, Medina. That's the Hijaz. Why? Because Muhammad said, I don't want any more mushrikeen here. I want to make this sacred and pure of shirk. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. With me so far? When Allah's apostle conquered Khaybar, he wanted to expel the Jews from it. As its land became the property of Allah, his apostle and the Muslims. You caught it, what I said? When Muhammad entered Medina, the Jews had not harmed him. The Jews had not attacked him. He goes, no, the entire earth belongs to Allah and his messenger. That's why I want to throw you out. Even though you've been here before me, even though this is your property, your land, your fields, sucks being you, because now I'm the prophet. I own it. I own you, and I want you out of here. Do you think the Muslim apologists will share this with you besides Daniel Hakikachu, who's brutally honest, or Sheikh Asim al-Hakim, brutally honest? Allah's apostle intended to expel the Jews, but they're begging him, no, leave us in the land. Don't throw us out, and we'll give you a huge part of our produce. But they requested him to let them stay there on condition that they do the labor and get half of the fruits. Do you believe this? We're going to do all the work, and we'll give you 50% of our crops. Just don't throw us out of our land. You're telling me he's not a mob boss? Isn't that what the mafia do? Don't the mafia do that? The mafia say, look, pay us protection money, and we'll protect you. Otherwise, we'll kill you. So what does he say? Get out of here. You go, no. Let us stay in our own land. Let us keep our homes and our fields. And we'll cultivate it and give you 50% of our crops. Allah's apostle told them, we will let you stay on this condition as long as we wish. All right, we'll let you stay as long as we want. But when we're fed up with you, we're getting you the hell out of here. So then eventually, Umar threw them out. See it? So they kept on living there until Umar forced them to go towards Taima and Ariha. So let me repeat again. I hope you're enjoying this. May the Lord bless our numbers for his glory. There are times in which I have to expose Islam. So the Palestinians are crying that the Jews are occupiers that stole their land. And they want to take Gaza completely. But that's what your prophet did. He took the land of the Jews. It's right here. Your authentic sources say they were there living in it. They owned the land, right? The fields were theirs. They were already settled and prosperous. He comes out of nowhere and says, it's mine. Get out of here. And then they have to give him 50% of their crops to stay in their house. My home. For me to stay here, I got to work for you to give you half of my crops. So now, if the Palestinians are consistent and want the Jews to give the land back, then all Muslims must now hand over the government to the Christians, right? Because who were there living, governing before Umar showed up? In what they call the Shams area, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Jerusalem, Christians. Who were the majority? Who owned the lands before Muhammad showed up? Christians. So all right, Palestinians, two-state solution. But the Christians run Palestine. Deal? Give it back to them. Deal? It's only fair, right, guys? Am I being fair? What do you think? Am I being fair? Because they're saying we've been occupied. The Jews are occupiers since 1948. You've been occupying the lands of others for 1,400 years. So all right, Netanyahu, make a two-state solution. But insist only Palestinian Christians will govern and own. They will have the army, right? They will legislate, and they will carry out punishments. Because originally, it was their land. You took it from them. Kurds, Iraq, Kurd, yo, Kurd, where did you come from? There were no Kurds. Where'd you come from? You don't like Jews being occupiers? Give Iraq back to the Assyrians, Chaldeans. Right? Syria, give it back to the Christians. Egypt, give it back to the Coptic Christians. Right? Fair is fair. Fair is fair. Precisely. Am I wrong? Guys, I'm being fair, right? Where am I being biased? Where am I being wrong? Can someone tell me? This is Islam. This is Islam. Notice the chapter heading. Go here. See why they hate us? They hate David Wood, Robert Spencer, apostate prophet, even Christian Prince who speaks the truth about jihad. Because we don't sugarcoat. We're not politically correct. That's why we won't be platformed. Chapter 21, expulsion of Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula. It has been narrated by Umar bin al-Khattab that he heard the Messenger of Allah say, I will expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula. So what is this admitting? Admission number one. Admission number one. The Jews and Christians dominated the Arabian Peninsula, right? You wouldn't need to expel Jews and Christians if they were not living in Arabia and they were the majority, right? So give it back to them. Give Yathrib, Medina, back to the Jews, right? Their sources say the Jews were landowners. They were prosperous. They were there before you Muslims. Give it back to them. Please tell me where I'm being inconsistent. Tell me where I'm being wrong. But now you want to get upset? When it came to Jews and Christians of other lands, Muhammad gave them an option. Pay Jizyah. And when you pay Jizyah, then you can live as second, third-rate citizens. Now let me get you upset. Let me get you upset. Let's go here. You ready? What happens? You want to get really boiled? Your blood boiling? What happens if the Muslims take over a land dominated by Jews and Christians? Jews and Christians don't want to be Muslims, but they don't have the power to fight back, and they accept the terms of subjugation and pay jizya. You ready? You want to get upset? Let's go full screen. This is their authentic sources. I've seen so many Muslims to try to explain this away. Yep, dhimma. Supposedly, they'll tell you, look, you pay the jizya, you stay in your lands, stay in your homes, we fight for you. We're the ones who go to war and protect you if anyone attacks you. Yeah, like mob boss, right? Isn't that what the mafia says? The mafia says, look, you pay us money, extortion money, we'll protect you, no one will harm you. You don't pay, then we'll kill you. So you're basically paying Muslims so they don't kill you. Right? Now let's read. The order to fight the people of Scripture till they pay the jizya. This is Surah Al-Tawbah. Some say it's the last chapter. Some say it's one of the last chapters. All right. But this is Muhammad's final marching orders. Notice again why he said fight Jews and Christians. Notice the reason isn't that because they threatened you, they attacked you, they wanted to kill you. No, fight them because they don't believe like you. Let's have some fun. Extortion. Here it is, chapter 9, verse 29. Fight against those who believe not in Allah nor in the last day. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay? You're ready. Do you believe all of the Quran? Notice my question. Do you believe, yep, Vex, I'm going to get there. All of the Quran is your God? I'm not saying, let me repeat. the average Muslim understanding of Allah. Remember, I did a session on it. Not all Muslims know who Allah is, and not all Christians know the Trinity. I'm talking about the Allah described in the Quran once you've studied the Quran. Is Allah of the Quran your God? Is he? What do you guys say? Is Allah of the Quran your God? All right. You know what that means? Muslims must fight you because they don't believe in their Allah. Now, the last day for the Muslim means the day of judgment. Allah will resurrect you. Now watch here. Allah will resurrect you. And if you pass the test, you enter Jannah, paradise, which is more like Jahannam, hell. Now watch. And if you're a Muslim man, you'll be given eternal erect penises. Your penises will be hard. I'm not exaggerating. It's Muslim sources. You're going to have huge breasted whores. The word hur, huri, hur al-ain, wide-eyed, beautiful maidens who have huge breast tits that don't sag. That's in the Quran. I've done sessions on this. You will then deflower them, pop their cherries without harming them, and they go back to being virgins every time you pop them. And you'll have young boys serving you, right? Being your servants. And if you're a good Muslim woman, you'll be part of the Hur al-Ain, the Hur. You'll be a Huri, one of them, so that a man can deflower you and pop your cherry over and over again. I'm not lying. I did sessions on it. You guys forgot? I quoted the Quran and the Hadith. Go watch it. Now, if you're a disbeliever, you'll be sent to hell and be tortured and tormented in the most brutal fashion. So, do you believe in Islam's last day? Or do you see this as a glorified whorehouse, Playboy mansion? Do you believe in this? Yeah, Luna, you didn't know that? You know how many sessions I did on this, Luna? Go and watch the sessions. Read the material. It's a whorehouse. So a good Muslim woman, she'll be made part of the company of the Hur. You'll be like the Huri, Hur al-Ain, wide-eyed maidens, and you'll have huge tits that don't sag. And you'll be deflowered. You'll have your cherries popped by the Muslim man who's either your husband on earth, or you'll be assigned to someone, but you won't feel the pain of losing your virginity, and you'll go back to being tight again. That's Islam. I'm sorry, I'm being graphic, but that's Islam. You want me to show you at least a few verses to prove it? Hold on, they keep sending me text messages. You want to see some verses to prove it? And I'll give you the links to the articles again. Because I can make this a 3-hour session. All right. But what you're going to do, you're going to use the material, right? You're going to take the articles I'm about to share. You're going to also learn these arguments, and you're going to share them with others, right? Teach your daughters, your sisters, your mothers to never follow this filthy religion. Teach them. Teach your Catholic Orthodox churches. This is what it teaches about women and paradise. So let me go through this. 1 second. Let me do this. Right there. 1 second, guys. Let me get the material so you don't think I'm lying. So it's going to be graphic, but you asked for it. This is Islamic agenda. This is what awaits you, women. Right here. Right there. 1 second. Let's go to Quran. Let me show you some verses, and I'll get you the articles. Let's go right here. Right here. All right. Halali Khan, 55, 56, 74. And right here. Ready? Talking about the rewards of paradise. You remain faithful. You pass the test. Watch what you have. There you go. 55, 56. Wherein both will be those maidens in paradise, the maidens, the hur, will be waiting for their husbands. Now, Islam teaches there are genies called jinn. They too, if they're good jinn and become Muslim, will enter paradise. And they too will have erect penises to deflower these whores of paradise. Let me show you. Watch here. Wherein both will be those maidens restraining their glances upon their husbands, whom no man or jinn, up until that point, yet mithluhunna. Here, this is the Muslim translation. Yet mithluhunna has opened their hymens with sexual or intercourse. Their hymens have not been opened by anyone until their husbands show up, and then their hymens will be opened up. Whom no man or jinn, yet mithluhunna, no man or jinn has opened their hymens with sexual intercourse before them. They're waiting for them to show up to do it. See it? You guys see it? So what waits you in paradise? Verily, for the muttaqun, there will be a success. Gardens and grapeyards, and young, full-breasted, mature maidens equal of age. Notice they won't be flat-chested. The woman there will have huge tits. So if you're flat-chested here, don't worry about it. Allah's going to give you huge tits, so don't get breast implants. Voluptuous woman, full-breasted woman, 7833, right? Maidens with swelling breasts, breasts that swell, stick out, get the men horny. Yeah, no lie. Now let's go to my article. Let me get you this article. Yatamathunna. So let's go here. Brothel. Have you been to Allah's brothel? Here you go. One of many articles. Here you go. I'm going to give you the link. Get ready, get disgusted. All right. Let's do this. Here you go. I said, reader's discretion advised. There you go, right here. So, women, if you're flat-chested, don't worry about it. Allah's going to give you huge tits. Already there? What do you mean, Miss Murray? You're already ready to go to paradise? You want huge breasts? All right, anyway. Right here. Ready? Now watch the commentary on 7833. Ibn Kathir. All right. And vineyards and kawa'ib atrab, meaning white maidens with fully developed breasts. Ibn Abbas, Mujahid, and others have said, kawa'ib means round breasts. So your breasts will be round. Your breasts will be round. They're not going to be sagging. They meant by this that the breasts of these girls will be fully rounded, not sagging, because they'll be virgins equal in age. See that? There you go. Still not convinced? All right. The Kawa'ib are the buxom girls. Arazi, one of the greatest commentators in Islam. Nawahid, whose breasts have become full. Taqabat, round. Tafalakat, round. No sagging tits for women. All right? What about being deflowered? No one will deflower them except their husbands, right? meaning they are delightful virgins of comparable age who have never had sexual intercourse with anyone or the mankind or jinns before their husbands. Yes, they will get married. The jinns will have jinn women, and humans will have female humans. All right. Now, Muhammad said you're going to have sex with up to 100 a day. About 100 huris a day in paradise you'll be banging. Now watch, look what he said. This is again Ibn Kathir. Abu Dawud at Talisi recorded that Anas said, Masrallah said, in paradise the believer will be given such and such strength for women. Anas said, I asked Allah's messenger, will one be able to do that? You're going to be able to bang all these women? He'll be given the strength of 100 men. Yes. And here Muhammad said, the man will be able to have sexual intercourse with 100 virgins in one day. See it? And then it says, this hadith meets the criteria of sahih. Here, the two Jalals on 5636. What will you be busy doing in paradise? And then we're going to go back. And made them virgins immaculate. Every time their spouses enter them, they find them virgins. Nor is there any pain of defloration. So every time I bang this one, I go and come back, see her again. She's a virgin again. And I'm going to deflower her. But every time I pop the cherry, she won't be in pain. Here it is. Look. Again, Tafsir al-Jalalain, 3655. What will you be busy doing in paradise? What will you be busy doing in paradise? Ready? Watch here. Indeed, today, the inhabitants of paradise are busy. Busy what? To what the inhabitants of fire are suffering. Busy delighting in pleasures, such as deflowering virgins. You're too busy to pay attention to people burning in hell, because you're deflowering virgins popping their cherries. How many of you are sick, dude? How many of you are sick? This is Islam. This is the status of you women in Islam. This is what you're good for. Diddy was in the wrong religion. He should have went to Saudi Arabia. Everything he did would have been halal, legit. And then finally, from Ibn Majah, Abu Umama, the father of Umama, reported Allah's messenger. What did he say? This comes from Sunan Ibn Majah, volume 5, page 546, number 4337. Watch. Every one of these Hur al-Ain will have a pleasant vagina. This is Muhammad talking. You're going to have a pleasant vagina, vajayjay. And he will have a sexual organ that does not bend down. You're going to have Islamic Viagra. Your organ won't get soft. It will always be stiff. Got it? Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Right there. You got the link to the article, right? Here, black and white. See it? It's bold. Reborn. Right there. Let me get you the article. Guys, what are you going to do in saving your neighbors, your family members, your daughters, sisters, your church from Islam? Are you going to go share this and teach them? There it goes. I'm not lying. I didn't make up anything. Now, let's go back. So why will Muhammad fight you? You see how disgusted you were? It says, fight them who don't believe in the last day. Do you believe this is the last day? And this is what eternity will be? Or do you think this is from the pit of hell It's Playboy Mansion on steroids, on growth hormone. So if you don't believe this, Muslims must fight you, nor forbid that which was been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger. If you don't prohibit what Muhammad prohibited, so if you don't forbid swine, you eat pig meat, Muslims must fight you. And if you don't acknowledge the religion of truth, you don't admit Islam is true, Muslims must fight you. They're not fighting you because you attack them. They're not fighting you, right, because you threaten them. They're not fighting you because you wanted to murder them. They're fighting you because you don't believe like them. You don't believe in their God, their paradise, their hell, and don't think Islam is true. Even if you're from the people of the scripture, meaning Jews and Christians, until they do what? They pay the Jizyah with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Now, here is Ibn Kathir's statement. Okay? I'm going to skip it. Watch it. Go to the bold part. This honorable ayah, he even calls it honorable. Right? He calls it honorable. This verse is honorable. Was revealed with the order to fight the people of the book after the pagans were defeated. So when they conquered the pagans, took over Arabia, now Muhammad has enough people to expend Islam militarily, offensively. The people entered Allah's religion in large numbers, and the Arabian Peninsula was secured under the Muslims' control. So when Muhammad had enough soldiers to kill, murder, and loot, then he sent them out, offensive jihad, to attack anyone and everyone, even Jews and Christians. Now here's why you're forced to pay Jizyah. You ready? You ready? Here's why you have to pay Jizyah. You guys ready? Why do you pay Jizyah? Why do you pay? They'll say, well, it's taxation. Don't you pay taxes to the American government? Yeah, but the American government doesn't force me to pay taxes as a sign that the government has humiliated me, disgraced me, shamed me, right? Belittled me because of my ethnicity or religion. Watch here. Allah said, until they pay the Jizyah, if they do not choose to embrace Islam with willing submission and defeat and subservience, feel themselves subdued, you pay it in order to know that you've been disgraced, humiliated, and belittled. That's why. To rub it in, to disgrace you. Therefore, Muslims are not allowed to honor the people of Dhimma. That means Jews and Christians under their protection. You're not allowed to honor them or elevate them above Muslims. You can't do that. Muslims are better than them. Right? For they are miserable, disgraced, and humiliated. Muslim recorded from Abu Hurairah that the Prophet said, now look how miserable and filthy this religion is, that if I'm walking the street, Muslims walk the street, they got to push me out of the way as a sign I've been humiliated. Do not initiate the salam. You don't greet them. Let them greet you, to the Jews and Christians. And if you meet any of them in a road, force them to its narrowest alley. This is what Muhammad taught. See that? This is why the leader of the faithful, Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph, demanded his well-known conditions. When he conquered the Christians of Hashem, here's the proof that when they took over Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, it was dominated by Christians. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph, conquered Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Jerusalem. And when he went there, he saw the Christians were dominant, and these were Christian lands. So what did he demand of them? I want you to listen. What did he demand of them? Watch here. Umar ibn al-Khattab demanded his well-known conditions be met by the Christians, your ancestors, mine. These conditions that ensured their continued humiliation, degradation, and disgrace. You understand? What was Islam's agenda? Humiliate, shame, disgrace Christians. Don't let them lie to you. This is the authentic teaching of Islam. You ready? Now watch here. Let's continue. So what conditions did he put on Christians? They had to accept or be killed or fight. The scholars of Hadith narrated from Abdul Rahman bin Ghan al-Ashari that he said, I recorded for Umar ibn Khattab the terms of the Treaty of Peace he conducted with the Christians of Shem. Now notice, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, owned by Christians, dominated by Christians. Muslims conquered them and then told the Christians, you must agree to this treaty or we're going to expel you or kill you. What were the Christians forced to accept? Now get upset. Right? Get ready to get angry. Focus, guys. Vex, I know, brother. Take it easy. I know you're commenting. You guys are getting excited. Chime a little bit down. Calm down. Just listen and engage me. Okay. So, Umar, the leader of the faithful from the Christian such and such city, when you Muslims came to us, we requested safety for ourselves. You see? We were not able to fight you. You caught us unsuspectingly. So we begged you for safety for ourselves, children, property, followers of religion. We made a condition ourselves. Now watch the conditions. That we will neither erect in our areas a monastery. You can't build new monasteries. You can't build new churches or a sanctuary for a monk, nor can you restore any place of worship that needs restoration. You know why? Because the Muslim mindset was this. If we control a Christian area and we don't let them build new churches and rebuild old ones, in a matter of time, Christianity will disappear and all of them will end up becoming Muslim eventually in several generations. See what they did? And you guys are complaining about the Crusades? You effeminate queer baits? You have the audacity to attack the Crusades? Right? We will not prevent any Muslim from wrestling in our churches. They can't even enter your church and with their wicked, filthy, pagan, demonic presence defile it. Whether they come by day or night, we will open the doors of our houses of worship for the wayfarer and passerby. The Muslims who come as guests will enjoy boarding and food for 3 days. So we got to put them up and feed them at our own expense. We will not allow a spy against Muslims into our churches and homes or hide deceit or betrayal against Muslims. Now watch. We will not teach our children the Quran. You can't teach your children why Islam is evil. Look how filthy the Quran is. You can't do it. We cannot publicize practice of shirk. You know what they mean? You cannot go out publicly with a cross or icons because those are items of shirk. Nor can you evangelize. You can't invite anyone to shirk. You can't invite Muslims to become Christians. But now watch the insult and spitting in our face. Or prevent any of our fellows from embracing Islam. Now, if one of us wants to become Muslim, we can't stop them. Still not upset? We'll respect Muslims, move from the places we sit in if they choose to sit in them. So if I'm sitting and the Muslim wants my seat, I got to get up. That's what they did to our ancestors. You guys, is you catching this? We will not imitate their clothing, caps, turbans, sandals, hairstyle, speech. We're not going to dress like Muslims so people know we're not Muslims. We got to dress differently, cut our hairs differently, wear different clothing so people know, oh, those are the Dhimma. They're not Muslims, so don't honor them. Speech, nicknames, title names, or ride on saddles. We can't even have swords on our shoulders. We don't have a right to bear arms. So they leave us without weapons to defend ourselves. We will not encrypt our stamps in Arabic or sell liquor. We'll have the front of our hair cut so people know we're not Muslims. wear our customary clothes wherever we are, wear belts around our waist, refrain. We can't even wear crosses, erecting crosses on the outside of our churches. You can't even put a cross outside the church, or demonstrating them in our books in public, in Muslim fairways and markets. See that? We will not bury our dead next to Muslim dead. Thank God for that. Or buy servants who were captured by Muslims. Oh, I thought Islam abolished slavery. We will be guides for Muslims, refrain from breaching their privacy in their homes. When I gave this document to Umar, he added to it, we will not beat any Muslim. These are the conditions that we set against ourselves, follows our religion, in return for safety and protection, so you don't murder us and rape our women. If we break any of these promises that we set for you, your benefit against ourselves, then our dhimma, promise of protection, is broken, and you're allowed to do with us what you are allowed, a people of defiance and rebellion. But it's not just Ibn Kathir. Umdat al-Saliq. This is a renowned manual of Shafi'i Islamic Sharia jurisprudence. Right here. Let me give you the title. Not going to read all of it. Reliance of the Traveler, the classical manual of Islamic sacred law, Umdat al, some will say Saliq, by Ahmad ibn Naqib al-Misri, translated by Nuha Mim Keller, pages 607, 609. I'm just going to read the bolded parts. Ready? The conditions imposed on who? The Dhimma, Jews and Christians, who don't want to convert, but live under Islamic rule. See? Non-Muslim subjects of the Islamic State, Ahl al-Dhimma. And now let's go here. Let's go to the bold parts. You got to pay Jizyah. It tells you how to pay it. And here are the conditions. Such non-Muslim subjects are obliged to comply with Islamic rules that pertain to safety, indemnity of life, reputation, property. In addition, if you're a Christian or a Jew, you're penalized for committing adultery or theft, though not for drunkenness, because your Sharia allows you to drink. You are to be distinguished from Muslims in dress, wearing a white cloth belt, zunar, so people know you're not Muslim. You are not to be greeted with assalamu alaikum. You do not greet them. You must be shoved, kept to the side of the street. You may not build higher than or as high as Muslim buildings. Your buildings have to be smaller. Though they acquire a tall house, it is not raised. You are forbidden to openly display wine or pork, to ring church bells or display crosses. You can't show crosses. Or publicly recite the Torah Evangel aloud, or make public display of their funerals, feast days, and are forbidden to build new churches. See that? You can read all of it. Now, when will you be punished and considered in violation of your treaty? If you commit adultery with a Muslim woman or marries her, you can't marry a Muslim woman, but Muslim men can marry Christian Jewish women. Conceal spies of hostile forces, leads a Muslim away from Islam. If you dare convert a Muslim and make him a Christian, it's over for you. Also, you kill a Muslim, or you mention something impermissible about Allah, the Prophet, meaning God logic, David Wood, apostate prophet, Christian prince, Osama Dakdok, Robert Spencer, Rashid, myself, we all have to be murdered by Muslims if we live under Islamic rule, because we condemn Muhammad as a dog burning in hell. You understand? None of us are safe. If Sharia takes over, we will be killed without mercy. And it tells you what the objectives of jihad are. the Caliph makes war upon Jews, Christians, and Zoroastrians. Why? Because you're not Muslims. Provided he has first invited them to enter Islam in faith and practice, and if they will not, then invited them to enter social order of Islam, paying the non-Muslim poll tax. But if you don't pay the tax, then you go and kill them and subjugate them. And they quote chapter 9 of the Quran, verse 29. See that? I'll do another session on this section here, jihad, against Jews and Christians. But you catch it? Anyone who condemns the Crusades, spit in their face. You Protestants, you better praise Jesus Christ. Thank Jesus Christ for the Catholic Church in the West being moved by God to call for the Crusades. You were not there. It was the Catholic Church the Lord used in the West to protect this onslaught upon your ancestors. Got it? All right. This is Islamic agenda. But now, what happens, folks, if the Muslims are a minority and they're not able to mount an attack, or they don't have a caliphate?